fighting over costumes, ridiculous movie demands, and backlash over a family tragedy. What started the ongoing feud between stars Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall? Will the two ever work together again? Keep watching for the details. In 2008, Clifford Strite, the real-life inspiration behind Willie Garson's Stanford Blatch, tried to sell a book proposal about the Sex and the City stars. According to the New York Post, in the proposal, Strite revealed that while the four stars were the best of friends on screen, the reality was very different. According to Strite, Cattrall was a natural comedian and a scene stealer in the best possible sense. The camera went right to her.
You know what they say? Big arms, big arms.
Hello, 911? I'm on fire.
That didn't sit well with Sarah Jessica Parker, who was supposed to be the series' lead, so Parker reportedly decided to ostracize Cattrall. Strite claims Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis supposedly formed a clique, which omitted Cattrall and the show's creator-producer Darren Star. Cattrall and Star reportedly leaned on each other, but when Star exited the show after 2 seasons, Michael Patrick King took over his role. Cattrall was left completely isolated. The alleged rift was so major that while shooting in Atlantic City, Parker supposedly rented a house to share with Davis and Nixon, but didn't invite Cattrall. An HBO spokesperson said at the time that Kim stayed in a different house because she was married, and her husband was supposed to come. But rumors of on-set drama kept mounting. One source told the New York Post that no one would speak with Cattrall, quote, not even in the makeup room. Sex and the City came to a close in 2004 after 6 successful seasons. Many fans were left to wonder why the ladies hadn't kept going. After years of rumors that Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker didn't exactly click on the set of Sex and the City, Cattrall admitted that the biggest reason the show ended in 2004 was because of money. During a 2004 appearance on Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, Cattrall explained that after 6 years of being at the center of an enormously popular show, she felt like everyone should be making more money. Unfortunately, those in charge didn't agree, and as she put it, when they didn't seem keen on that, I thought it was time to move on. This effectively killed the idea of putting out a 7th season of the show or moving forward with a Sex and the City movie, though the team did eventually reunite for 2 films. It completely makes sense that Cattrall would have lobbied HBO for more money. After all, of the 4 main characters, Samantha Jones was certainly the one putting the sex in the show's title. Cattrall was reportedly paid $350,000 per episode and allegedly asked for $1 million per episode to continue on with the show.
Does it still annoy you that the perception is that you and Kim Cattrall didn't get along in that show? And
Yeah.
you've said a million interviews, hey, I have no beef, she has no beef with me, I don't know where that came from. So where does something like that come from?
I don't know. It used to really confound me and really upset me because, you know, we were part of a family of sopranos and nobody ever questioned the relationships of the men on that show, and no one ever said to them, did you hang out this weekend with each other? Or did you give each other Christmas presents? Or what message did you send? Was every day perfect? Were people always desperately, hopelessly in love with each other? No, but this is a family of people who needed each other, relied upon each other, and loved each other. And this sort of narrative, this ongoing catfight, it really used to really, not even irk, it really upset me. It was usually about like bad behavior on the set, and I take very seriously my reputation. Like I work really hard and I treat people well, and I have, you know, a work ethic that's very meaningful to me, and it's based on the affection I feel for the people that I get to work with. And to suggest that I'm behaving poorly or not treating somebody well,
that's not you.
It's like, it's not even like it's not me. It's so anathema that it would drive me bananas.
In 2010, Kim Cattrall spoke to the Daily Mail. Inevitably, the topic of her feud with Sarah Jessica Parker came up. Surprisingly, Cattrall insisted that the real problem between the two of them was that the press and the public didn't want to believe that the two women were friends, or at least that they got along, because it wasn't as exciting. As she put it, they have too much invested in the idea of 2 strong, successful women fighting with each other. It makes for juicy gossip and copy. Cattrall also praised Parker's leadership skills, adding that she would love to move on to another topic. Cattrall said, "She and I are sick of this. It's exhausting talking about it and a real bore." This echoes the sentiment expressed by Parker in an interview with Elle in 2009, when she said, "I don't think anybody wants to believe that I love Kim. I adore her. I wouldn't have done the movie without her. Didn't and wouldn't." In 2016, Parker was asked to address the rumors once again, and this time suggested that any gossip was firmly rooted in sexism. As she told Time, "They just didn't do it to the Sopranos guys. It was so strange to me and upsetting. We were all at liberty to walk away at any time. But nobody asked those questions of shows with men. Isn't that interesting?" According to The Telegraph, Cattrall first asked for a raise when Sarah Jessica Parker received an executive producer promotion during season 2. It apparently alienated her from her co-stars, who reportedly, quote, wouldn't even sit with her at mealtimes. And as if to prove that point, Parker sat with Cynthia Nixon and Kristen Davis at the 2004 Emmys, while Cattrall sat at a different table. Cattrall candidly replied after being questioned about it, "Are we the best of friends? No, we're professional actresses. We have our own." Parker was adamant that Cattrall's pay was never an issue, saying, "Cattrall mentioned money and no one should vilify her for it. People made a decision that we had vilified her." Kim Cattrall made it clear she was unhappy with what she earned on the show. A source close to Cattrall told the New York Post, "There was a disparity between what Sarah got and what the other girls got. Money reportedly ended up being a deciding factor behind her joining the first Sex and the City film." Cattrall told Marie Claire in 2008 that she initially declined because she didn't feel, quote, ready and strong enough to revisit Samantha. Chris Albrecht, HBO's former chairman and CEO, noted, "Sarah was becoming more and more famous, and her salary increased beyond what was contractually committed, which is normal for hit shows. The other actresses wanted to keep up." But Cattrall insisted it was all about timing. She admitted, "4 years ago, I was going through a painful public divorce. The series was coming to an end, and my father was diagnosed with dementia. I felt it was time to be with my real family." When the movie was finally released in May 2008, it was a hit at the worldwide box office, earning nearly $419 million. But according to The Telegraph, shooting it wasn't easy. The supposed feud between Sarah Jessica Parker and Cattrall reportedly became so petty that the two stars fought over their outfits because, quote, each coveted the other's costumes.
We've never been friends. We've been colleagues. And in some ways, it's a very healthy place to be.
Kim shattering the illusion once and for all. The women of Sex and the City were never the girl squad in real life that we all wanted them to be. And she sets the record straight on those rumors of a third movie, saying she passed on playing Samantha Jones again as soon as she was offered the part.
Lucky me. To get Sarah Jessica Parker is that I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer. I don't know what her issue is.
I never thought I'd see this day.
You and me both.
She also reveals the series played a big part in her decision not to have children.
I have 19-hour days on this series. I have weekends where I finish at Saturday morning. How could I possibly continue to do that?
After the first Sex and the City movie made $415 million at the box office, everyone was scrambling to make a second film. Everyone except for Cattrall, that is, who reportedly requested more money before she would commit. She received it, but by the time filming began, she and Parker were not speaking at all. The energy on set was apparently tough. With New York Magazine reporting in 2009, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall are no longer speaking, which is making everyone on the set of the new Sex and the City movie uncomfortable. In 2017, amid reports that a third Sex and the City movie was pushed back indefinitely, the same old story reared its ugly head. The Daily Mail reported that while Parker, Nixon, and Davis were all signed on for a third film, Cattrall wouldn't get back to anyone about what she wanted to do. A source reportedly close to production told the publication that Cattrall was the reason why the movie wasn't going forward, adding, "Kim had the audacity to tell Warner Brothers that she would only do this if they made other movies she had in development." Davis confirmed that a third movie wouldn't be moving forward, writing on Instagram, "I wish that we could have made the final chapter on our own terms, to complete the stories of our characters. It is deeply frustrating not to be able to share that chapter." However, piling blame onto Cattrall seems a little unfair, especially as the actress had previously expressed a lot of love for her Sex and the City character. Of a possible return to the franchise, she told the Daily Record in 2016, "It could be fun though. To say goodbye completely to Samantha would be pretty hard." After being blamed for the cancellation of a third Sex and the City movie, Kim Cattrall took to Twitter to set the record straight. Cattrall categorically denied reports that she had made extra demands in order to agree to star in a third film. She also revealed that she'd said no to the movie a full year before the news was made public in 2017. Sarah Jessica Parker reacted to Cattrall's comments on an episode of Watch What Happens Live.
What was your reaction to Kim Cattrall telling Piers Morgan that you were never friends, just colleagues?
Just heartbroken. I mean, that whole week, you and I spoke about it endlessly, because I was just, I don't know, I found it very upsetting, because that's not the way I recall our experience. So it's sad, but I'm kind of, I don't know. I always think that what ties us together is this singular experience. it was a professional experience, but it became personal because it was years and years of our lives. So I'm hoping that sort of eclipses anything that's been recently spoken. That is
the work. I mean, everybody
like,
will have the love for the show.
Have a professional. That many years spent doing something so special that people, had a connection with it.
Yes.
It's such a privilege. So.
I mean, still.
As for why she was ready to leave the franchise behind her, Cattrall explained that she had reached a state of clarity in her life and no longer wanted to compromise. When asked if fans would ever see her reprising the role of Samantha, Cattrall revealed on ITV's Life Stories, "Not for me. That was part of turning 60. That was a very clear moment of how many years do I have left and what do I want to do with it? What haven't I done?"
For me, I feel that the most important thing is always, do we have something left to say? Because I think at my age, which I am grateful for, which I am still learning, embracing, is time. And how do I want to spend the time? Do I want to spend it doing something that I've explored to the fullest?
In February 2018, Kim Cattrall's brother was tragically found dead in Canada. After Cattrall shared the news on Instagram, there was an outpouring of support, including from Sarah Jessica Parker and the rest of the Sex and the City co-stars. Parker left a public comment on Cattrall's Instagram offering her condolences, but the comment seemed to enrage Cattrall. Days after announcing her brother's passing, Cattrall accused Parker of exploiting her brother's death simply to get good press. After creating a public post rejecting Parker's support, Cattrall went in hard on her former co-star, writing on Instagram, "Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of how cruel you really were then and now. Let me make this very clear. If I haven't already, you are not my family. You are not my friend."
If Sarah Jessica Parker watches this, what would your message to her be?
I think it's pretty clear.
Subsequently, Parker revealed that she simply chose to not respond to Cattrall's Instagram post or any of her comments. As the actress told People, "So there was no fight. It was completely fabricated because I actually never responded. And I won't because she needed to say what she needed to say, and that is her privilege." Even though it had literally nothing to do with him, Jason Lewis, who played Smith Jerrod in the franchise, revealed that he supported Parker's point of view on the matter. Speaking on KTLA, Lewis said, "Listen, I have to say that Sarah was always just so lovely and such a consummate professional, and I think that people should remember their graciousness and the things that have been given to them."
Sure, Jan.
Seemingly, some feuds really are forever, and in 2019, Kim Cattrall opened up to The Guardian about her time on Sex and the City. Making it clear that she wasn't happy about being vilified for turning down the third movie, Cattrall explained, "It was a blessing in so many ways, but after the second movie, I'd had enough. I couldn't understand why they wouldn't just replace me with another actress instead of wasting time bullying. No means no." Cattrall also told the Los Angeles Times that she would like to retire the topic of any fight with Sarah Jessica Parker once and for all. As she bluntly put it, "Everything is on Google, so I encourage you to Google it about anything that I've said."
But let me just say one thing right now. If one more person calls this a cat fight,
oh God,
I'm not in a fight. I've never fought with Kim. I don't have to send any gifts to Kim because I've never done anything. She has felt perfectly comfortable to say lots of things. That's the beauty of living in a democracy. But I have no apologies and meaning I'm not, this isn't a cat fight. This is someone who chose to talk about something and myself who said I'm enormously remain grateful for, her work and the role she played on and off camera for all the years we spent together.
No talks.
I've not had any. No.
Okay.
We went as far as we could last time, and then the studio said, "No, we can't meet those demands." That's, we were all signed up except for her. So, what are you gonna do, right?
Though we may never know what actually happened, another insider told People the truth may lie somewhere in between. The insider claimed Cattrall was willing to have a conversation, but she needed to hear something she hasn't heard before, namely that they would treat her character with some dignity and respect, and they wouldn't even engage in that sort of discussion. The insider was adamant that Cattrall was sick of having, quote, one humiliating plotline after another, and that she never wanted to derail things. The circumstances of the third Sex and the City film were brought up again by the Daily Beast in 2018. And this time around, Sarah Jessica Parker didn't brush off those feud rumors. Parker appeared to confirm that there was indeed beef between her and Kim Cattrall, and that it pulled the plug on the film. According to the Daily Beast, Parker said, "When things aren't true, especially when it is a personal attack about your character, the way you've chosen to conduct yourself specifically, I'm stunned by how deeply it still cuts. It's so painful because all you want to do is respond." The actor told the outlet that she was counseled not to fire back at Cattrall, but the Me Too movement inspired her to take a different approach. Parker said, "For so long, I was told to be quiet about all of that stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm like, if people are being encouraged to come forward and talk about really difficult, painful, potentially criminal things that they were part of or witnessed, I think I can talk about the Sex and the City 3 movie."
There. And I cannot believe that you would judge me after everything that we've been through.
Cattrall also suggested to the Los Angeles Times that playing Samantha Jones had negatively impacted the trajectory of her career in the United States. As a result, she was generally only offered roles that were similar to the ones she played on Sex and the City, which is why she began working in England instead. The Sex and the City spinoff, And Just Like That, finally hit HBO Max in December 2021, without Kim Cattrall, of course. After sharing news of the new show on Instagram, Sarah Jessica Parker was inundated with comments about Cattrall's absence from the reboot. Replying to one fan, she wrote, "No, I don't dislike her. I've never said that. Never would. Samantha isn't a part of this story, but she will always be part of us, no matter where we are or what we do."
Will fans be given a satisfying storyline as to her whereabouts?
I can't speak for the audience. They have to have that experience themselves.
The new series, which stars Sarah Jessica Parker as Carrie, Cynthia Nixon as Miranda, and Kristen Davis as Charlotte, addressed Sam's absence almost immediately in the premiere episode.
I told her that because of, what the book business is now, it just didn't make sense for me to keep her on as a publicist. She said fine and then fired me as a friend.
She didn't fire you.
Okay, she stopped returning my calls. Look, I understand that she was upset, but I thought I was more to her than an ATM.
You are. She was embarrassed.
So embarrassed she took a job and moved to London?
Of course, Kim has made it clear that she has no intentions of returning to the franchise after the release of the 2010 film Sex and the City 2. And at the show's premiere last week, showrunner Michael Patrick King opened up to ET about doing the show without her.
We knew Kim wasn't going to do the series because she had, for her reasons, finished playing Samantha. So then it was the beginning point. Rather than ignore it, we decided to make it part of the story, and we did everything we could to honor Samantha, who we love, the character, and we know the fans love. No one could be another Samantha.
As for Kim, she seems to be thriving, sharing pics of her getaway to Italy on Instagram.
What we needed, 3 single gals back on town.
But the question remains, could Kim still make a return? When E.T. spoke with Cynthia, she said fans probably shouldn't hold their breath.
I think that Kim has made it really clear that she's done, and we've heard her. But I think we deal with it really well. I think, and really, really creatively.
But when we asked Kristen if the door is open, she had this to say.
It is not up to me. I don't want that pressure.
Who is it up to?
Michael Patrick, King, and I guess HBO Max, maybe. Yeah. I believe Michael Patrick and Sarah are on the record as saying that And Just Like That was conceived with the 3 of us. Yeah. And our new friends. We have 4 new, amazing, intelligent, fascinating actresses who have joined us. And that's how the show was envisioned. So I don't know even how that would go down. But luckily, like I said, I don't have to decide.
Kristen Davis weighs in on the rumored beef between Kim Cattrall and her And Just Like That co-star Sarah Jessica Parker, saying she wishes she could fix it.
They are allowed to have their own feelings. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
In a new interview with The Telegraph, Kristen, who's back as Charlotte in the Sex and the City revival series,
Where's Samantha?
She's no longer with us.
tells the outlet, "You have to respect people's wishes. I'm not gonna waste energy on it. I can't change anybody."
I think what's wonderful is that we have a writer and actors who love that character, who love telling stories and being in situations and environments with Samantha. And we're really lucky we have those memories and that experience.
Of course, the show forged ahead without Kim, but left the door open for a possible return. Then, in February 2022, SJP told Variety she would not be willing to star alongside Kim again, saying, "I think there's just too much public history of feelings on her part that she's shared."
listening to your instincts has been a wonderful guide for me. I have to get in touch with what's right for me.
ET recently confirmed that Kim will make a cameo in the season 2 finale.
I always thought the four of us would be friends forever.
According to Variety, Kim shot one scene back in March without interacting with any of her former castmates. And the scene, it involves a phone call with SJP's character, Carrie.
What I think people love about shows like Sex and the City is strong characters.
Fans, myself included, are just thrilled to hear that you're going to have a scene in the new season of And Just Like That, reprising your iconic role as Samantha.
This is for the fans.
Yes.
It really is.
I know you can't tell us much, but what can you share with us?
Well, it's very interesting to get a call from the head of HBO saying, what can we do? And I went, let me get creative. And one of those things was to get Pat Field back.
Oh,
because
great.
I just thought, you know, if I'm going to come back, I got to come back with that kind of Samantha style.
Yes.
I got to push it. And we did. And we did.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait.
That's exciting. So Kim, last year you were honored at Variety's Power of Women event.
Yes.
And in your speech, you talked about how your secret for success is learning to say no, which is interesting. You know, my friend Lee Grant, she wrote a book called I Always Said Yes.
I read that book.
Yeah,
It's a
but you're
wonderful
saying
book.
I always say no.
Yes.
Well,
I don't always say no, but I think that at this point in my life especially, where I want to spend the time and with whom is very important to me.
Yes.
And what I want to say with the characters that I play. So I've learned through the years to sort of take a step back and see myself doing something and really register how that feels. Does that feel right? Or no, I should be over on this trek over here. That feels more me, more now.
In February 2021, HBO's chief content officer Casey Bloys justified Samantha's absence from the revival, telling TV Line, "Friendships fade and new friendships start, so I think it is all very indicative of the real stages, the actual stages of life. Whether or not we'll be hearing about Parker and Cattrall's alleged feud ever again remains to be seen."
Samantha lives forever in DVD land, and she's as great as she ever was, and I love her. I feel that she's protected, and life goes on.